Hi, and welcome back to McMoore's Prosthetic Services. Today I want to talk about types of prosthetics, and I've done a lot of different types of prosthetics, and we'll go into knees and a little bit of feet, but more so just want to talk about the technology, because sometimes I will talk to somebody, or am reading on Reddit or somewhere of this is a bionic leg, and I think even that word bionic is thrown around quite a bit, and just because you plug something in doesn't mean it's necessarily bionic. I don't really know what is bionic, to be honest. I work in a bionic lab, and still I don't know if that's the best term for things. So if you go back and you look at some of my videos, some of my reviews that I've done on this channel or on the other channel, but it's not necessarily a powered bionic device that is propelling them forward. Maybe that propulsion is coming from the carbon foot plate or something like that. That is, all of these feet here that are carbon springs, and you're just relying on the tension of that spring. And so once you get into that bionic area, there are things that are bionic happening in the industry, I think. And if you look at Hugh Herr and his lab and the things that they're doing with osseointegration, and then integrating sensors into muscle beds and controlling a powered knee and ankle. So again, power has motors in it. Where I'm not going to harp on this too much, but I guess I am, because all of the microprocessors are hydraulics, whereas power has motors in it. So those motors are actively assisting you. So in Hugh Herr's device, he's got a powered knee underneath there, and maybe even a powered ankle, I'm not sure. But they are integrating sensors into the muscle bed, and even using little magnetic balls that inject in your quad, and then when you flex that moves with a magnet on the outside, and it tells the knee what to do. And that to me is much more of a bionic solution. To me, bionic means that it's integrated with the user. The user has full control of the device, and it is assisting them and doing things for them. Whereas again, most things, even the power devices that are on the market right now, they're amazing too for the right person, but they're not integrated into my body, right? The Oser Power Knee in my video, really the big difference in that video, in my Oser Power Knee review, was talking about its controller or its firmware. And so that is really how I get the knee to do certain things, how it operates. That's its operating system, right? And really, to me, bionic is it doesn't have an operating system. It is integrated with me, and I understand intuitively how to use it because it acts intuitively like my able-bodied leg. And I think that at times, there's nothing wrong with saying wow, that's an amazing bionic knee, and it's a hydraulic, snowboard shock. But it kind of creates this misconception of what exists out there right now and how easy our lives are. And it goes back to I've talked about it over and over again about how I think that pop culture kind of does us a disservice, because they were used in commercials. You'll see a commercial this year in the Super Bowl that has an amputee dancing or running or doing whatever in it, and you see us in Marvel movies and on things that don't exist, and then people come up to me after the movie and they're like, wow, you have a leg that guy. And it's no, I don't have anything close to what that guy has, because what that guy has doesn't exist. But people look at it and they think, wow, that's amazing, so cool. It is. But understanding what exists and what doesn't is really kind of what's holding the technology at a barrier. I mean, the technology is bursting right now because of just where we are in the world. But I do feel like microprocessor technology has kind of stayed the standard for a long time, because people don't understand, that it could be doing more for us. Maybe if that person that you talk to in the gas station wasn't thinking about wow, that's amazing, they have an $80,000 leg, it does all this stuff for them. What if he was thinking wow, they have an $80,000 leg that is 40% of what they used to have? I think that is really a better way to frame things. And so when I see that term bionic, I guess it's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine, because again, I work in a bionic engineering lab and am fortunate to be involved with that. But it's we're trying to find ways to make it more integrated with me, so that it is more bionic. And I think that that is where the field should go. I think that that is where the technology should go. But I think that understanding the differences of what exists now, and really everything is just a hydraulic, unless you're talking about OSER. OSER is a little bit different technology, and I think that it has some benefits to it. But most things are hydraulic devices with a computer in them telling them when to be on and off. And that's basically it. And so, I think that being able to use those and use those well is amazing. And amputees, we all adapt and we don't let things hold us back. And so we use these things to their best of their ability, and then we make do with what we can do and figure out how to solve the problems we want to solve, and accomplish what we want to accomplish. I think that amputees are pretty good at that. But also, man, it would be so much easier if I just had a leg that helped me do those things rather than was holding me back in like 75% of those things. And so that's a little bit of a rundown on like misconceptions, I guess, and probably we'll have more misconception type videos in the future. But yeah, it's just something that's been kind of like on my mind the last few days. I've been talking to some people that are like, wow, bionic leg. And it's like, this is not bionic. My X3 is not bionic. It's amazing, but it's not where it could be. It's not where it's going. It's not where I want it to be. And I think that's the biggest thing. It's not where I want it to be. And so that's it for this week. Happy Thanksgiving. Be thankful for what you have. Show that gratitude. I really do. It's a holiday that kind of gets overlooked, and in America at least, and I guess I don't even know like the other countries celebrate Thanksgiving. I don't know, but maybe Canada. But be thankful for what you have, and grateful that you get to wear these devices and aren't stuck in a situation that you can't use them. And if you are one of those watching that is maybe stuck in your recovery right now, or you've got other things going on that aren't allowing you to use them, still be thankful that you can breathe, and that does mean a lot, and being with the ones that you love means a lot, and being able to use these things means a lot. And the best way, if you're stuck in one of those positions, like the best way to get to use these is to just work. And that's by learning about them. That's figuring out how they work, and then figuring out how to get your body to work with them. And maybe if you understand kind of what the technology is a little bit better, that gives you a better understanding of how to use it. And that really is my goal. So happy Thanksgiving. Other than that, we'll see you next time.